Good morning, everybody. I've had a few people message me and ask me to do videos, educational stuff, things like that after I've done a few like petting zoo type things, educational things at my son's school, all of that kind of stuff. So I just had some babies hatch out yesterday. So I let them kind of sit for the night, and I don't want to rush them out of their incubation box. So this video is mainly for the kiddos out there that want to get into these animals, and the parents that are newbies or new crested gecko owners or just new reptile owners in general. These crested geckos are probably the best first time reptile for any kids, even adults out there that want to get into this hobby, so to speak. Don't jump into it too hardcore. Make sure you do your investigating first and educate yourself. YouTube videos, things like that. But this is going to be very basic. I want to keep everything very beginner friendly and kid friendly. I have an 8-year-old daughter, or who's about to be 8 this month actually. So by the time this video is posted, she will be 8 years old probably, unless I can get it done early. But all my videos I'm going to try to do live so you can follow along, and that way you're not pausing the video over and over again, having to rewind. I do that a lot with the genetic videos I watch, just to try to absorb it all, but should be a very short video. First things first though, what to do when you have a brand new baby that you bring home. I'm going to be using mine as a hatchling because I just hatched it. But for you, if you decide to get a smaller baby and you want to bring it home, do not jump into the giant enclosure. I know that's hard to do, but these animals feel very, very safe and way more comfortable in smaller enclosures. Even though it seems cruel or whatever, you have to take yourself and your mind out of that. These animals need to feel secure. So if they're in the woods, out in the rainforest or wherever, any animal feels secure inside of like a hole, something where nothing can attack them from all sides. So container store bins is the recommended or most used, I believe. So it's very simple, not expensive at all. You can see your animal. It is a 6-quart shoebox or shoe bin from Container Store. Anything similar to this is fine. Anything from Walmart, those little Sterilite 6-quart bins is fine, completely fine. But just like this, there's no ventilation, as you can see. So what you do is you have to have some kind of ventilation. So I'm just gonna go forward really quick. Here's my 6-quart tub with a little vent. So you don't have to do the vents like I do or like a lot of us do, but bringing home your animal, you're gonna wanna have ventilation because the enclosure or the shoebox needs to dry out after being misted, so to speak. So you have to have a dry out period and then a humidified period. So dry out, humidified. If you don't want to go out and buy little vents, you don't have to. You can just go buy these little screen things maybe. Not this specific kind, this is for something else, but you can just buy screen or mesh from Walmart, very cheap. Take this, and then what you do is you cut a hole and then glue it in there on the outside more than likely so that the glue is not on the inside of the bin. So very simple. So that's the first part. Ventilation. When they're babies, I would recommend making sure that you have the lid. So don't try to put them in that rack system thing when they're babies. So my new baby is going to go into this. So right here in front of you. Also, before I forget, this is the food that I use. I use bigger bunches of it, of course, but Vital Meal fruits. You've got bugs or whatever. Well, this is cricket powder. So cricket powder, and then you've got insect. One thing that's needs to be explained to people is this is insect powder or cricket powder. So this isn't something you would feed them by themselves. So this is what you would add to this. You can feed this by itself. This is just an insect-based dry meal. You add water to it, of course, read the directions. But make sure you pay attention. Crickets are cricket powder. For those of you out there that don't want to do bugs, it's not something that's mandatory. us as breeders, we do bugs. It's just better for the animal, so to speak, and it keeps them active, keeps them hunting. It's just more nutritional value eating something that's live rather than just this all the time. But as a pet owner, if you're just doing it as a pet, yes, you can just use dry food. You mix it with 1 part dry food, 2 parts water, and that's it. And it would look something like this. I'm getting ready to feed today, so that's why I'm doing this video. So Vital Meal is what I use. I also use Repashy, but I carry all of it. So if you need anything, please let me know. With this, for those of you that are a little bit more, not advanced, but into it a little bit longer, I use a low hole saw. This is what I use for my vents. I believe these are 2 inches or 2.5 inches. I'd have to look, but just so you know, 2 inches, very, very easy, no big deal. So there's the first part of it. As I said, this video is live, so I'm doing this as I do it. So as a new owner, paper towel, put that in there. What I do is I will go ahead and mist this paper towel a little bit, not too much. As a kid or a new owner, you can do all kinds of stuff. Like look at these. So you got little flowers like this you could use. This, kids tend to want to obviously make this fun. I mean, obviously adults too, but just different things. These things are so small as hatchlings that these are the ideas that I use for mine, just for fun, so that my daughter has fun with them, and you know, but very easy. I use what's called gutter guard. So I'll use a piece of gutter guard just to kind of have it up in the air so they can climb on it. And I'll put that in the very front of the enclosure. So very front right here. This isn't the piece I'm going to use. I use a bigger piece, but here you go. Let's see. There you go. Next thing that you want is obviously you want them to be able to eat and drink. So as a new owner, don't feel like you have to go out and buy these fancy fancy bowls. And it's just, when I first got into it, I didn't know much. Nobody really taught me everything, so I kind of had to figure things out on my own before I found out that you can go to other breeders that are super into helping people. So I did that. But inside of your own home, you have everything you need more than likely. This is a milk jug cap. That's a bowl. This is a tiny Gatorade cap. That's a bowl. This is a bigger one that I use for my bigger animals. It's an almond milk jug. So as you can see, it's bigger, not as small as this one. And then my larger, full grown, I have these that I make available to people. So if you want to do pink, blue, black, whatever they are. But what I do is I take the lid off. It's really cool. So this water bowl, I like having more water than food. So I use this for water. And then this is their food bowl. And this is big enough for adults. So obviously right now when you're doing a baby or a newer hatchling, you don't need this big. So I would stick with these smaller ones. But better than that, which you guys will probably like, is contact lens cases, which are awesome. So you've got these, and it serves as a water bowl and a food bowl, because as babies, they literally need a very tiny drop. That's it. So, food bowl, I have this, which is like a lab beaker bottle filler from like a science lab. So I got this, so I give it a little bit of water. I fill that up all the way because it's literally not much. Then I take my food. They don't need much at all. I put a little bit extra in there so it doesn't dry out so fast. But that's all you need. So there's that. And then you need a place for them to hide. As I was saying earlier, they need a place to be secure and feel safe. So very cheap, a couple dollars maybe, go to Home Depot. Get yourself pipe insulation. That's obviously a dirty one I'm cleaning. So I take them and I cut them into pieces like this, and they're just little caves. So I put that in there. done. Then you take and find yourself, if you would like, again, it's up to you, and I'm sure people out there want to decorate to prevent them from jumping and putting these animals into these giant enclosures. So my recommendation is to keep it fun for you. You can go buy these little leaf things from Amazon. You can buy bigger ones, and usually these are ones like hang on the top of the cage, but you're just doing a 6-quart bin, so don't forget that part of it. And then you also have some pretty fancy coverage. So if you put this in here, if you think about it, it's like a miniature little jungle. There's no way they're not gonna feel safe in this. Not possible. And you can even do more than that if you want to. You can put this in here, you can put this plant over here. Look at all that. Everything. That's really all you need. I'm obviously not gonna put all that in there right now. I'm just gonna do this small one over top of the gutter guard thing, because you don't need that much, and this baby is a new hatchling. So 6-quart bin, they can stay in there for a while. I mean, it's not like they have to be pulled out of there at 10 grams or 15 grams. Next part about that is a food scale. You don't have to have one. You just want to keep an eye on your animal, which if this is your only animal you're doing, it's a pet for your kid, or it is your second one, you're just starting off small, just use your best judgment. If you have an animal that's this big and it's in this big of an enclosure, it's fine. Like, that's plenty of room to run around, climb. You can even use these across the top on a bunch of spots and have them climbing, running around. Just get creative. Plastic plants are perfect. They're easy to clean. And it gives your animal tons of room to jump around, all of that. But like I said, keep in mind, they're very small. You don't have to move them up. Enjoy your animal. Put it in a small tub. And then here you go. I will go ahead and put this little baby before I close the lid. So here's a bunch of eggs. And this one is, for you beginners out there, I'll just say it's red. It's a solid red color, more advanced. It is a red phantom. It is a Darth Maul lineage, and also from Harry over at Zero's Geckos. Make sure you go check them out. Harry is Zero's Geckos, and then AJ is AJD Reptiles. I've got animals from both of them, and I learn a lot from them. Make sure you check everybody out on Palm Street app. That app is amazing for just hanging out, listening in the background, education. You can sit there and type in questions and we'll all help answer those questions. And then let's see, the next name for it for beginners out there, or more advanced. This is a red phantom, and let's see, it is, yep, it's one of the Darth Mauls, and I want to see if it did hit the Lily gene, which some of you don't need. Nope, just a regular red phantom. So tiny. So yeah, it's literally that big. Look how little that is. So for you guys watching this video that are new, you probably won't get one this small. This is literally 1 day old. But it's going in this tub. I will leave it alone for a while. I went ahead and put food in there, water. I will check it every day and just make sure everything looks clean, make sure it's comfortable, make sure it doesn't dry out and get too dry. So missed it. I missed every couple days. I don't have to in this room. And I let it dry for the day. So any questions, shoot me a message. Follow me on Instagram. This is my YouTube channel. I'm gonna be adding videos too, just to make it easier, because adding videos on Palm you can't do. Facebook's a little different, Instagram, all that stuff. DieseltheseGeckos, as you can see behind me. I do all the food. I help with enclosures. Any animals from me, I will help everybody for life. For life of the animal. You can always message me with questions, and I feel like that's what a lot of us are gonna do. I was trying to keep this video under 10 minutes, but looks like I went over. But as far as you guys being able to get your hatchling ready to go, it should probably take you 5 minutes, but I took my time on this one, and hopefully you guys could follow along and get your little baby crested geckos set up and ready to enjoy. Thanks, guys.